Welcome to the deep dive. Imagine your email inbox. It's probably, a bustling digital space filled with work stuff, personal messages, maybe a few too many newsletters.
Definitely too many newsletters.
Yeah. But what if I told you that every single one of those emails holds a secret history, like a digital blueprint, something that can tell a story far beyond just the words on your screen? Today, we're not just reading emails. We're diving headfirst into the fascinating, really intricate world of email forensics.
Right.
It's sort of like being a digital detective, but instead of dusting for fingerprints, we're sifting through these hidden clues embedded deep within your digital mail.
It's true. We often perceive an email as, well, just the content, isn't it? The words someone typed out.
Yeah.
But as one of our key sources puts it, an email is actually a veritable treasure trove of data.
A treasure trove. I like that.
Yeah. We're talking about who really sent it, precisely when it was sent, every single server it traveled through, and even how it made that journey. This deep dive, it's going to pull back the curtain on just how much unseen information an email carries. It really transforms a seemingly simple message into this complex, detailed record.
Okay, so our mission today, for you, our curious listener, is to equip you with a really crystal clear understanding of why email forensics isn't just some niche technical field, but actually a critical discipline in our digital age.
Absolutely critical.
We'll uncover its foundational principles, dissect the intricate, what did you call it, the forensic anatomy of an email,
That's one.
peek into the sophisticated tools investigators use, and understand the crucial legal dance required for this digital evidence to actually hold up in court.
Right.
By the end of this deep dive, I guarantee you'll never look at an email the same way again.
And you'll not only gain a profound appreciation for the complexity of, well, digital communication, but also grasp how absolutely essential forensic soundness is, for uncovering truth in this increasingly digitized world.
Forensic soundness. Got it.
Which it really begs a critical question for all of us, doesn't it? How much do we truly understand about the origins and journeys of the messages we receive every day? And what hidden stories are they silently waiting to tell? So to guide our exploration today, we're drawing from some robust resources, including email forensics, principles, methods, and legal imperatives, and also the comprehensive email forensics, uncovering digital evidence. So we've got a really practical and authoritative perspective on this field.
Excellent. Okay, let's dive in. The invisible storyteller. Why email forensics matters. So we send and receive just an astonishing number of emails daily. I saw a stat over 300 billion emails worldwide in 2023, and that number is still climbing. It's staggering.
It really is. Hard to even comprehend that volume.
And for most of us, it's just, communication, sending a note, getting a reply. But for investigators, an email isn't just a message. It's a primary vector for cybercrimes and, crucially, a critical repository of evidence. It's truly more than just a message.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the sort of broader landscape of digital security and law, email forensics isn't merely reactive. It's not just something you do after an incident.
Right.
It's a vital, proactive component of both organizational security and legal defense strategies. It offers a structured methodology, like a reliable roadmap, for navigating this digital environment to authenticate evidence, trace origins, reconstruct precise timelines.
A roadmap. Okay.
Without this systematic approach, honestly, verifying the truth behind digital interactions would be incredibly difficult. It leaves individuals and organizations really vulnerable to deception and, well, malicious intent.
So why is email considered such a gold mine for investigators then? Let's start with its power as legal evidence. I mean, emails can be absolutely instrumental in proving intent, right?
Absolutely. Intent, timelines.
Establishing precise timelines, showing involvement in all sorts of legal situations. Like think about a complex corporate fraud case, maybe. An email might explicitly detail a suspect's whole plan to deceive someone. That's direct, written proof of their malicious intent.
That's powerful evidence.
It's the kind of direct evidence that can just fundamentally shift the direction of an entire case.
Right.
I find it incredible, like a simple email can be the smoking gun. It proves harassment or outlines a breach of contract or even lays bare an intellectual property theft scheme. It provides that incontrovertible proof needed to resolve disputes and, fight cybercrime.
And while they're powerful in legal disputes, emails are also, unfortunately, the front line for a different kind of battle: cybersecurity.
Oh, yeah.
Email's ubiquity makes it, by far, the most common entry point for cyber attacks. We're talking phishing campaigns, malware distribution, sophisticated business email compromise, BEC schemes, ransomware, you name it.
It all comes through email, seems like.
Yeah, so often, yeah. And email forensics is absolutely crucial here because it allows investigators to meticulously trace the origin of an attack, understand precisely how it infiltrated and spread within a network, and identify the specific malicious activities performed.
So you can see the whole chain.
Exactly. This capability empowers organizations not just to respond effectively to an ongoing attack, but also to significantly bolster their defenses against future threats. Because you can dissect and understand the attacker's tactics and the vulnerabilities they exploited.
And it's not just about external threats, is it? Inside organizations, email forensics plays a huge role in corporate compliance.
Definitely.
Companies use it all the time to investigate internal issues, like employees leaking sensitive data or violating company communication policies, maybe engaging in inappropriate conduct.
Right. It's a critical tool for making sure companies adhere to regulations and maintain internal security. Ultimately, it's about protecting sensitive information and intellectual property.
Accountability, basically.
Accountability and safeguarding those valuable assets. Which brings us to a fascinating and maybe, for some, a rather unsettling point, recovering deleted evidence.
The deleted emails.
Yeah. The shocking truth for many is that even emails you meticulously thought you had permanently deleted.
Well, they can often be recovered.
Really? Even after emptying the trash?
Often, yes. This ability provides critical clues, frequently revealing deliberate attempts to hide or destroy information. You might ask, if I hit delete and then empty trash, surely it's gone forever, right?
So I would think.
But often it's not truly gone, because deletion typically just removes the pointer to the data, not the data itself, at least not immediately.
Oh, okay.
And forensic tools are specifically designed to unearth these hidden or overwritten messages, which can be absolutely pivotal in an investigation, proving someone actively tried to conceal information.
Wow. Okay, so what's the big takeaway from all this then? Well, it means email forensics is far from just guesswork. It's a rigorous, multifaceted scientific process, as our sources call it, specifically designed to produce legally defensible evidence.
Scientific process, not just poking around.
Exactly. It operates as a critical subset of digital forensics, focusing meticulously on the systematic recovery and analysis of email data to extract actionable forensic evidence.
And the core objectives.
They're clear and unyielding. Determine the true origin of an email, validate its authenticity and integrity, analyze its content for any signs of wrongdoing, harassment, fraud, policy violations, and accurately reconstruct a precise chronological sequence of events. It's a scientific method built on really solid protocols, ensuring the integrity and admissibility of every piece of evidence. Dissecting the digital envelope, the anatomy of an email.
Okay, now that we understand why email forensics is so critical, let's pull back the curtain. Let's peek inside the digital envelope itself. How do investigators actually find these hidden clues? We need to look under the hood, right? Because every email has two main parts, and apparently one of them is an absolute goldmine for forensic experts.
Indeed it is. The email header. It truly is the message's digital time capsule and GPS tracker all rolled into one.
Time capsule and GPS. Okay.
And it's not just a single field. It's a collection of meticulously arranged fields, each detailing a specific aspect of the email's journey and its creation. Understanding these individual components is absolutely paramount to tracing an email's origin, validating its legitimacy, and, crucially, revealing any attempts at deception.
So you got to know what each part means.
Exactly. Without dissecting these fields, you're missing the entire unseen, often crucial story an email has to tell.
Okay, let's start with the big one you mentioned, the received header. You said this is vital for tracing the path.
Absolutely vital. It acts like a chronological log. Every single mail server the message passes through adds its own entry. Think of it like a stamp in a passport for every country visited.
Okay, so each hop gets recorded.
Precisely. For investigators, it's like reading a journey backward. They start from the bottom, the entry from the recipient's server, and meticulously work their way up, tracing the email back to the sender's origin.
Bottom up. Interesting.
It's a trail of digital breadcrumbs showing every step the email took, complete with precise timestamps, the host names of the servers, and the IP addresses involved. This provides the definitive transmission path and timestamps, essential for reconstructing a timeline and spotting any unusual routing. Something that might immediately suggest foul play or an attempt to obscure the real sender.
Makes sense. What about the return path? What does that tell us?
The return path is quite specific. It designates the email address where any delivery failure notifications bounces are sent back to.
Ah, the bounce address.
Right. It becomes forensically valuable because, in many spoofing scenarios, while the from address is alarmingly easy to forge,
Yeah, you hear about that all the time.
the return path is often less frequently manipulated by attackers. So it can frequently reveal the true original sender's address of a spoofed email, providing a crucial lead even when other sender details are completely faked.
Okay, so that brings us to a really crucial distinction you mentioned, from versus reply to. The from is what I see in my inbox, but you said it's easily spoofed.
Incredibly easy. Trivial in many cases.
But the reply to field, that's different.
It's different, and it's an optional field, but it can be extraordinarily revealing. It explicitly specifies where any replies to that specific email should actually go.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. An attacker might pretend to be my bank in the from field, right? Make it look totally legit so I open it.
Exactly. Social engineering 101.
But if I were to actually hit reply, my response could go straight to them at a completely different fraudulent address specified in the reply to.
Precisely. That stark mismatch between the visible from and the hidden reply to is a key, often undeniable, indicator of a sophisticated phishing scam. It's designed specifically to redirect your response to the malicious actor.
Wow. That's a huge red flag to look for. What about proving an email's unique identity?
For that, we meticulously examine the message ID. Think of this as a unique, globally assigned identifier for that specific email message. It's like its digital serial number or fingerprint.
Okay, unique to every single email.
Globally unique, yes. It's absolutely critical for correlating messages across different systems. For example, matching an email from a sender's outbox on one server to the identical message in a recipient's inbox on a completely different server.
Right, proving it's the same email.
Exactly. Our sources cite a compelling case study where an identical message ID found across multiple copies provided irrefutable evidence against a claim that an email had been altered. It conclusively demonstrated its authenticity. This field is invaluable for establishing integrity.
Okay, now let's talk about the email's security passport, as you called it. SPF, DKey, and DRRC. These sound technical, but important.
Very important, and they operate behind the scenes mostly. So SPF, Sender Policy Framework, works by verifying that the sending server's IP address is actually authorized to send email on behalf of that specific domain.
Like a bouncer checking the server's ID at domain's door.
Ah, exactly. Good analogy. Then DKIM, Domain Keys Identified Mail, takes it a step further. It uses a cryptographic digital signature to confirm that the message content itself hasn't been tampered with during its journey across the internet.
So SPF is the server allowed,
Yeah.
and DKIM was the message messed with.
You got it. And DARS, Domain-Based Message Authentication, Reporting, and Conformance, acts as the coordinator. It unifies SPF and DKIM and provides a policy telling the receiving email server how it should handle messages that fail these authentication checks. Should it quarantine them, reject them, or just let them through?
Okay, so DMR sets the rules based on SPF and DKIM results.
Precisely. What this truly means for us forensically is that these aren't just obscure technical details. They are the primary defense mechanisms against email spoofing and a critical first line of investigation for spotting a scam.
Right.
A fail or soft fail result in these checks, which is clearly visible in the email header data, is a powerful and immediate indicator of spoofing or forgery. Conversely, a pass result strongly suggests legitimacy. They provide a vital layer of trust, and their failure immediately flags an email as suspicious.
Okay, so that's the header, the journey. But what about the actual message? The email, body, and attachments. That's the payload, right?
That's a payload. The explicit content, the words, files, embedded links that frequently contain the core evidence or the actual components of a crime. And for content analysis, investigators go way beyond simple keyword searches. They employ advanced methods like sentiment analysis, natural language processing, NLP, to identify subtle patterns, things indicative of fraud or social engineering. For example, a phishing email might deliberately use a tone of extreme urgency or mimic familiar business language perfectly to trick someone. NLP can help spot those linguistic tricks.
Fascinating. And attachments, they seem like a huge risk area.
Huge! Attachment examination is equally, if not more, critical. Attachments are notorious vectors for cyber attacks. They can hide malware, tracking codes, or subtly altered documents.
Like a malicious PDF or Word doc.
Exactly. In cases of intellectual property theft, examining attachments is crucial for tracing the origin and distribution of proprietary content. Specialized forensic tools analyze these files for hidden payloads or metadata revealing the document's creation or modification history, which, again, is invaluable for establishing timelines.
Embedded links or images.
Those get scrutinized too. Images or tiny scripts that load when an email is opened can be used for tracking. Embedded links are checked carefully in a safe environment to see if they lead to phishing sites or download malicious content.
So every part gets examined. Header, body, attachments, links.
Everything. And underlying it all is the metadata, the unseen story.
Right. The data about data.
Exactly. It provides crucial context that often tells a more complete story than the content alone. Details like the true sender, all recipients, including BCC, various timestamps, even the email client used, like Outlook or Gmail.
How does that help detect tampering?
Well, a meticulous analysis of metadata is a primary method, particularly timestamps. An email header contains multiple timestamps when sent, when received by each server. Discrepancies between these can be a major red flag.
Like if the times don't make sense.
Precisely. For instance, a message that claims to have been sent a year ago but somehow shows up in an inbox today. Highly suspicious.
Yeah, that seems fishy.
It immediately raises the possibility of an anti-forensic technique called time stomping. That's when someone deliberately alters a file's timestamps, creation, modification, access to mislead investigators about its true age or history.
Time stomping.
Okay, so this makes us wonder, if the timestamps don't align logically, what does that really tell us? It often points to a deliberate attempt to mislead, which brings us directly into this shadowy world of anti-forensics. 3. The cat and mouse game. Forensics versus anti-forensics.
Okay, so we've dissected the email. We know what's inside, visible and invisible.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's not just about finding evidence. It's often about finding evidence that someone actively, deliberately tried to hide or destroy.
Exactly. This is where the intense dynamic battle between digital forensics and anti-forensics really heats up. It's a relentless, high-stakes cat and mouse game.
Anti-forensics. So the goal is just to mess up the investigation.
Pretty much. The fundamental premise of anti-forensics is precisely that. To destroy, obscure, or hide digital evidence. To prevent its discovery, analysis, and ultimately its use in legal proceedings.
How do they do that?
Attackers use a whole range of methods, from seemingly simple things like file deletion, which we now know isn't always permanent,
Right.
to highly sophisticated obfuscation techniques, things designed to make data unreadable or hide its true nature. It represents a direct challenge to the integrity of any investigation, an attempt to just erase the digital truth.
And these tactics can be pretty clever. You mentioned time stomping.
Time stomping is a classic. Altering a file's metadata, timestamps creation, modification, access to mislead timeline-based searches.
How would that work in practice?
Well, by backdating an email file, for example, an attacker might make it look like it was created before a certain event, causing it to be overlooked during an investigation focused on a specific later time frame, making it seem irrelevant.
Sneaky. What else?
Another common one is file wiping. This aims for truly permanent deletion, going beyond just deleting the pointer. It repeatedly overwrites the deleted file's original data on the disk with new, usually random or meaningless data. This makes it virtually unrecoverable by standard forensic tools. Think of it like scribbling heavily over something written on paper until it's obliterated.
Okay, so wiping is much more destructive than just deleting.
Much more. And this is precisely where the forensic counterattack has to come in. The expert's role isn't just finding existing data. It critically involves actively searching for inconsistencies, anomalies, anything that signals deliberate manipulation.
Looking for the signs of tampering.
Exactly. An email with timestamps that don't align with server logs, or a file that looks like it's been time-stomped, those immediately trigger a deeper investigation into possible tampering.
So you use specialized tools for that.
We have to. Specialized tools to try and recover overwritten data, analyze file fragments, or meticulously examine system logs for any evidence of data dilution or wiping activities. Our sources emphatically state that an investigation is incomplete without also searching for evidence of its attempted destruction. Which really makes you think, doesn't it? How robust, how agile, how constantly evolving do our forensic tools and methods need to be to stay ahead in this ongoing digital arms race?
Yeah, it's a constant battle. So Forensic experts aren't just looking for the evidence itself. They're actively hunting for clues that someone was trying to cover their tracks.
That's a huge part of it.
It's like finding that broken lock, as you said, and realizing someone didn't just walk in. They tried to hide the fact there was a break-in at all.
Precisely. This constant back and forth, this perpetual game of digital chess is what drives the continuous evolution of both attack and defense strategies in the digital realm. 4. The investigator's roadmap, the email forensic life cycle.
Okay, now that we get what an email is made of and the hidden challenges like anti-forensics, let's shift to the actual process. The structured, systematic roadmap investigators follow. This is an ad hoc, right? It's a rigorous, multi-phase life cycle.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This structured methodological process is the bedrock of the whole discipline. It really reinforces that forensics is a true scientific method, which is essential for establishing the unimpeachable integrity and the crucial admissibility of evidence in any legal context.
Integrity and admissibility. Key words.
Definitely. Each step in this life cycle meticulously builds upon the last. It ensures comprehensive coverage, unwavering consistency, and rock-solid accuracy throughout the entire investigation.
So where does this journey begin? Step 1.
Step 1 is identification and collection. The core idea here is to exhaustively identify every potential digital source that might contain relevant email data.
Every potential source.
Yeah, and this demands an incredibly comprehensive approach because emails, unlike, say, a physical letter, can exist in numerous different locations simultaneously.
Right, like on servers, computers, phones.
Yeah. Exactly. Think about on-premise servers, maybe running Microsoft Exchange with its EDB files. Then you've got cloud platforms like Google Workspace or Microsoft 365, and then local client applications like Outlook storing PST or OST files on individual computers or mobile devices. It's a truly multi-source collection effort.
That sounds complex, especially with the cloud now.
Oh, it is. What's truly critical to understand is how that huge shift to cloud-based services profoundly changes this collection phase. You can't just, seize a physical hard drive anymore in many cases.
Right.
Cloud forensics now often requires working directly with the cloud provider's APIs to systematically collect data. And that can introduce significant complexities, especially dealing with encrypted or maybe even deleted data within the cloud service.
And you have to deal with the provider.
You do.
Yeah.
Investigators have to skillfully navigate what's called a shared responsibility model with these cloud providers. It basically delineates what security aspects the provider handles versus what the customer is responsible for. Often, the customer is primarily responsible for their own data, including encryption and access controls. This means investigators usually need proper legal authorization, like a warrant, to get access from the provider or the customer.
And preserving integrity during collection is key.
Absolutely paramount. The golden rule is immutable. Do not compromise the original evidence. Improper collection techniques can inadvertently alter things like cryptographic hash values, damage metadata like timestamps, or even just flip read flags on emails.
Even just marking it as read can be a problem.
It could be, depending on the case. A best practice, for instance, is using specific email protocols, like the peek option in IMAP, which lets investigators download messages without changing status flags like seen or recent.
Yeah.
You want the evidence exactly as it was found.
Okay, so after meticulous collection comes preservation, right? Maintaining that integrity.
Exactly. This step involves creating exact forensic copies, often called disk images, of the collected data, always using a read-only approach to guarantee the original source remains absolutely untouched.
And this is where hashing comes in.
This is where cryptographic hashing, using algorithms like SHA-256, becomes indispensable. It generates that unique digital fingerprint for the data.
Like the ultimate tamper-proof seal you mentioned.
Precisely. Once you have that hash value, it serves as an unalterable benchmark. Any subsequent change to the data, no matter how tiny, will alter the hash value. That provides conclusive, irrefutable proof of alteration.
Got it. Collect, preserve with hashing. Then what?
Then we transition into the highly analytical analysis phase. This is the deep dive, the meticulous examination of all that collected data. It goes far beyond just reading the email body. It includes a rigorous review of every header, every attachment, all associated metadata.
And you use tools for this.
Oh, definitely. Specialized forensic tools are employed here to efficiently sift through potentially vast amounts of data, terabytes sometimes. They help recover seemingly deleted files and identify intricate patterns that might indicate malicious activity, fraud, or policy violations. This is where the real investigative deductions happen, connecting the dots.
Okay. Analysis leads to findings. How are those presented?
That's the reporting step.
Yeah.
The core idea is to systematically document every finding clearly, precisely, and comprehensively, in a way that's easily understandable for diverse stakeholders, attorneys, other investigators, maybe even judges.
So clarity is key.
Lucidity and clarity are crucial. The report meticulously outlines the facts uncovered, the specific methodologies used during the investigation, and the ultimate conclusions reached. It serves as the official, defensible record of the entire process.
And sometimes the analyst has to explain it in person.
Yes, that's the final potential step. Testimony. In many significant cases, the forensic analyst will be required to present their findings as an expert witness in court.
Under oath.
Under oath. They testify based on their specialized expertise and the meticulously documented evidence. They have to be impeccably prepared to rigorously defend their methods, their tools, their conclusions, often under intense cross-examination from opposing counsel.
Sounds stressful.
It can be, which again begs that critical question. Why is this whole scientific multi-step process so absolutely vital? Because every single step, from identification right through to testimony, must withstand rigorous legal scrutiny. It ensures the evidence is both reliable and, most importantly, admissible in court. One misstep can jeopardize everything, via the toolkit and techniques, how the digital detectives work.
Okay, so we've walked through the methodical steps, the life cycle. But what kind of actual gadgets and specialized techniques do these digital detectives use? You mentioned the complexity, especially with anti-forensics always evolving. It must demand a pretty sophisticated toolkit and real expertise.
Absolutely. The tools and techniques are constantly adapting to keep pace. One of the primary battlegrounds, as we've touched on, is in authentication and the fight against forgery.
Right. Proving the email is legit.
Exactly. And this is precisely where analyzing those SPF, DKIM, and DMRC protocols becomes so critical in practice. They are the primary, most robust technical defense against email spoofing.
How do they use them in analysis?
By meticulously examining the authentication results header within the email's metadata, an investigator can swiftly determine if it was legitimately sent from an authorized server, SPF, and if its content remained unaltered during transit, DKM.
And a fail means?
A fail or soft fail result is an immediate, strong technical indicator of spoofing, which, as we know, is a key component of phishing and BEC schemes. It's often the first, most powerful technical flag saying something is fundamentally wrong with this email's origin story.
Okay. And speaking of alterations, let's circle back to that huge pitfall you mentioned. Relying on printed emails. You were pretty emphatic about that.
Because it's such a common and dangerous mistake, let's be crystal clear. Printed emails are unequivocally not forensically sound.
Why not? They look the same.
They look the same, but they're stripped of all that essential metadata we've been talking about. The unique message ID, the original precise timestamps from different servers, those crucial SDF, DKIM, DMRC authentication results, all gone. All necessary to actually prove an email's integrity and authenticity.
So the proof is missing from the paper copy.
Completely missing. Our sources describe that compelling case where an expert proved a printed email was fraudulently altered. How? By meticulously comparing it to the original digital message. The printout contained incriminating statements that were simply not present in any original digital versions. Unequivocal proof of fraud.
Wow. So relying on a printout.
Is the most significant pitfall for legal professionals, according to our sources. Without that original digital file and its rich, embedded, verifiable metadata, an opposing party can very easily claim alteration, and it becomes almost impossible to refute that claim convincingly in court. The digital original is the only truly reliable evidence.
Okay, lesson learned. Digital original is king. What about dealing with just massive amounts of email? Advanced analysis for large data sets. You mentioned terabytes.
Yeah, modern investigations frequently involve staggering volumes, thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of emails. Manual review is just utterly impossible.
So automation is key.
Indispensable. Automated solutions like specialized forensic tools, Aid4Mail, Mailxaminer, our examples are engineered to process these vast amounts of data with incredible speed and accuracy, turning weeks of potential manual work into days or even hours.
What can these tools do besides process quickly?
They offer powerful features. Things like pre-acquisition filtering, so investigators can zero in on only potentially relevant data from the very beginning. Advanced search capabilities, Boolean, wildcard operators for highly targeted queries, and even AI-powered classification to automatically group similar emails or identify suspicious patterns. It makes the process vastly more efficient.
And visualization helps make sense of it all.
Hugely important. Visualization and correlation tools are indispensable for understanding complex digital landscapes. Specialized software can create things like connection graphs.
What do those show?
They visually map the intricate communication flows between individuals, groups, organizations, instantly revealing hidden relationships, key influencers, patterns of interaction that would be completely invisible just looking at a list of emails.
Like a social network map based on emails.
Exactly. Equally powerful is timeline analysis. This meticulously reconstructs a precise chronological sequence of all relevant events. When a message was sent, received, opened, when an attachment was created or modified.
Tying it all together in time.
Essential for understanding context and, importantly, for quickly detecting anomalies like that deliberately time-stomped file we talked about, which would stick out on a proper timeline.
This is where it really gets interesting. Visualizing it. Imagine a graph showing every single email exchange between a suspect and their contacts. Or that timeline mapping out exactly when every attachment was touched. It just transforms chaos into clarity.
It absolutely does. It makes these incredibly complex data sets manageable and understandable.
So what are some of these tools of the trade? You mentioned Aid4Mail, Mailamitor.
Yeah, those are great examples of specialized email forensics tools. Aid4Mail is known for swift processing of huge volumes. Mailamitor for deep analysis and recovery. Forensics Email Forensics Wizard is another comprehensive one. Beyond email-specific tools, you have the broader digital forensic suites like Encase Forensic and FTK Forensic Toolkit, which handle all sorts of digital evidence.
And network tools.
For capturing the raw traffic itself, something like Wireshark is invaluable. It lets investigators capture and dissect the actual SMTP and IM-PAT packets, the email protocols as they travel across the network. Sometimes that low-level view is crucial. The legal labyrinth, ensuring indicibility.
Okay, so we have the process, the amazing tools, the sophisticated techniques, but you keep coming back to this point. None of it truly matters if the evidence doesn't stand up in court.
It's the ultimate test.
Which brings us to the absolutely crucial legal and procedural imperatives, the legal labyrinth, as you called it.
Indeed. The entire value of a forensic investigation and the weight of the evidence it uncovers hinges entirely on legal compliance. Without meticulous adherence to legal standards, even the most damning digital evidence can be swiftly dismissed, rendered inadmissible, gone.
And the first hurdle, the biggest one maybe, is the unbreakable chain of custody. You said this is non-negotiable.
Absolutely non-negotiable. It's a painstakingly detailed chronological record of every single person who handled a piece of evidence, from its initial collection, where and when, to its storage, its analysis in the lab, who accessed it when, and its eventual presentation in court.
Every single touch point documented.
Every single one. This documentation serves a singular, vital purpose: to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that the evidence has not been tampered with or altered in any way, a break in that chain. Even a seemingly minor failure to document who had it when can lead to the evidence being deemed unreliable. And usually, that means inadmissible.
So for digital evidence, that means documenting who collected it, where it was stored, who accessed it, what they did.
Precisely. Who collected the data, when, where was it stored securely, who accessed it for analysis, and exactly what analysis steps were performed. And once again, cryptographic hashing plays a key role here.
As proof of integrity.
As that immutable digital fingerprint. If the hash value calculated when the evidence was collected matches the hash value calculated later, say before court, it's incredibly strong proof nothing changed. If the hashes don't match, it's conclusive proof of alteration.
Which brings us back to, why is this chain of custody so critical?
Because without this meticulously documented integrity, any competent defense attorney can successfully argue the evidence is tainted, maybe planted, unreliable, regardless of what the evidence actually shows. The chain of custody is, quite simply, the bedrock upon which the legal admissibility of all digital evidence rests. It guarantees its trustworthiness in the eyes of the court.
Okay, chain of custody is paramount. What about the admissibility of email evidence in court more broadly? What makes an email admissible?
Well, beyond the chain of custody, it must meet several other foundational requirements. It has to be relevant to the case, obviously. It must be authentic. And it must have been collected legally.
Authentication seems key again. Proving it's real, and from who it says it's from.
authentication is critical. The party presenting the email has to convincingly show it is genuinely what it claims to be and was indeed sent by the person it purports to be from. This can be done through witness testimony, someone saying, "Yes, I received that email."
But that can be challenged.
Easily challenged.
Mm.
Much more convincing is robust technical evidence, like a matching DKIM signature, which cryptographically verifies both the sender's domain and that the content hasn't been altered since it was signed. That's much harder to dispute.
And this is another reason why printed emails are a problem.
Exactly. We have to keep hammering this point because our sources stress it. Pitfalls of printed emails. Relying on them is the most significant pitfall. A printed email is not forensically sound. It's just a picture of the original. It crucially lacks the essential underlying metadata, the message ID, original timestamps, those vital SPFD GovIM MDMARC results needed to irrefutably prove its integrity, authorship, and true journey.
So it's easy to challenge a printout.
Very easy for an opposing party to claim alteration. And without the original digital file with its verifiable metadata, it's often impossible for legal counsel to successfully refute that claim in court.
Okay. Digital original, chain of custody, authentication. What about privacy and legal authority? Privacy, jurisdiction, and the warrant requirement.
Yes. Digital forensics doesn't happen in a legal vacuum. Investigators must always operate within a complex, often tangled web of privacy laws and, increasingly, international jurisdictional boundaries.
Like needing a warrant.
Exactly. A seminal U.S. case, U.S. v. Warshak from 2010, established a crucial precedent. It ruled that accessing private emails stored in the cloud generally requires a legal warrant, reinforcing Fourth Amendment privacy protections in the digital realm.
So you can't just demand emails from Google or Microsoft.
Not private ones, no. Investigators must always obtain explicit consent from the owner or possess robust legal backing, like a warrant or a subpoena, before accessing private digital messages. The context matters, but the principle of legal authority is firm.
And this gets even more complex internationally.
Oh, absolutely. What's truly fascinating and incredibly challenging is that in our globalized world, cloud data is frequently stored across multiple international borders.
Right, data could be anywhere.
An investigation started in, say, the U.S. might find that relevant emails are stored on a server in Ireland. Now it might be subject to conflicting privacy regulations, like Europe's stringent General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. GDPR demands a clear legal basis for collecting and processing any personal data.
So investigators need to know international law too.
Modern forensic teams must be meticulously prepared to navigate this complex maze of international laws, treaties, mutual legal assistance agreements, and jurisdiction issues. They have to ensure their evidence collection is not only compliant in their own country, but also legally defensible across different legal systems. It's a formidable and constantly evolving challenge in our interconnected world. 7, real-world applications and strategic recommendations.
Okay, so we've thoroughly covered what the details of email forensics and the how of the process and the legal side. Now let's look at some tangible, real-world examples that really bring these principles to life. And then, importantly, let's discuss how you or your organization can strategically prepare for these kinds of investigations.
Sounds good. Real-world applications are truly where the rubber meets the road. It's where all these intricate principles, sophisticated tools, and meticulous processes come together to definitively uncover truth in concrete, often high-stakes situations.
Let's start with that powerful case study. Proving a fraudulently altered email. You mentioned this earlier. Walk us through it again.
Right. So imagine the scenario. A client is accused of making highly incriminating statements in an email. The opposing side submits a printed copy of this email as supposedly irrefutable evidence in court.
But the client denies writing it.
Adamantly. They insisted they never made those statements and believed the document had been altered. So an expert forensic team was brought in.
What did they do?
They meticulously collected and forensically preserved the email accounts and related digital devices of both the client and the supposed recipient. Then came the deep analysis, comparing the unique message ID, all the intricate metadata, and the precise body text across multiple digital copies of the email recovered from different sources.
And the result?
The team conclusively discovered that the opposing party's printout contained specific, damaging statements that were simply not present in any of the original digital versions. The analysis unequivocally proved the printed email was a fraudulently altered copy,
Which destroyed the opposing case.
completely collapsed their argument. This case perfectly highlights that critical vulnerability of printed documents as evidence and the undeniable power of a sound digital investigation using the original digital files to reveal the truth.
Incredible. What about tracing those common scams like phishing and business email compromise, BC schemes?
Ah, yes, pervasive and incredibly damaging threats. They frequently rely on email spoofing, impersonating executives, vendors, banks to trick people into transferring funds or revealing sensitive info.
How does forensics help there?
The forensic outcome involves that meticulous, deep analysis of the email headers. By tracing the message's precise route server by server and rigorously examining the SPF, DKIM, and DMRC authentication results, an investigator can often identify the true origin IP address and definitively expose the impersonation.
Like finding that fail in DMRC you mentioned.
Exactly. A fail or soft fail DNRC result is strong technical evidence the email wasn't sent from an authorized server for that domain. This critical technical evidence, combined with a thorough content analysis of the message body and any embedded links or attachments, allows investigators to systematically reconstruct the entire attack chain.
Can they trace it back to the attackers?
Sometimes. Our sources detail a significant 2024 case study where header analysis successfully traced a sophisticated phishing campaign back to servers in Eastern Europe. This ultimately led to the identification of the cybercriminal group involved. It's a powerful demonstration of how those seemingly minor technical header details become vital clues.
Okay, these examples really show the impact. So what does all this mean for, our listeners or their organizations moving forward? How can they prepare?
Great question. It means moving far beyond just reacting to incidents after they happen. It's really about proactive planning and preparation.
So step one is
Develop a robust forensic readiness plan. This isn't just an IT thing. It should start with establishing a cross-functional committee. Get key stakeholders from IT, yes, but also finance, legal, procurement, maybe HR, because a forensic incident can impact all these areas.
like everyone on the same page.
Exactly. Then, conduct a comprehensive inventory. Know what cryptographic systems, protocols, and critical data assets you have, especially understanding where things like public key cryptography are used for signing or encryption. You need to know what digital assets you possess and how they're secured before an incident.
And technical defenses.
Crucially, the plan must incorporate implementing robust technical countermeasures. This directly translates to fully utilizing email authentication protocols, SPF, DM, and especially DMRC, to aggressively prevent email spoofing in the first place.
You mentioned DMRC reject policy.
Yes, our sources strongly emphasize that implementing a DMRC policy with P-reject can be extraordinarily effective. It tells receiving servers, if an email claiming to be from our domain fails SPF or DKIM, don't just flag it as spam rejected entirely, block it. It stops many fraudulent emails before users even see them.
What about data policies?
Also critical. Organizations need to create and rigorously enforce clear data retention and destruction policies for email and other digital assets. This helps manage the sheer volume of data, ensures compliance with legal requirements like litigation holds, and can actually minimize risk and liability by not keeping data longer than necessary.
Okay, have a plan, implement technical controls, manage data. What about when things get really serious or legally tricky?
That's when the role of expertise and tools becomes paramount. Engaging a specialized external forensic expert isn't just helpful, it's often essential for legally sensitive matters, for navigating complex digital evidence scenarios, or anytime there's a strong suspicion of tampering or sophisticated anti-forensic techniques being used.
They bring the necessary expertise and credibility.
They bring the methodical approach, the deep technical knowledge, the experience with legal requirements, and the ability to produce that legally defensible documentation required for court. And for tools, organizations should strategically invest in specialized, court-approved forensic software like the Aid4Mail or Mailzaminer examples.
Why those specific tools?
Well, tools like those aren't just nice-to-haves. They're critical for their speed in processing huge data sets, their broad compatibility with various email formats, their advanced recovery features for deleted data, and their powerful visualization capabilities that turn that complex data into actionable insights for investigators and legal teams.
Makes sense. And finally, what about the people involved?
We absolutely cannot overstate the importance of training and policy. Even the best technical solutions and tools can ultimately fail without proper staff training.
The human element.
Always the key variable. Organizations must implement comprehensive, ongoing security awareness programs, educate staff on how to spot phishing, spoofing attempts, social engineering, turn them into a crucial human firewall.
And clear rules.
Equally important, clear policies must be established, communicated thoroughly, and consistently enforced for all digital communication. This ensures everyone knows the expectations, actions taken are defensible, and the organization is fully prepared to respond to any incident in a forensically sound manner.
Seems like a lot, but necessary.
It is. And looking ahead, the future of email forensics faces new, formidable challenges. Think quantum encryption potentially breaking current methods, or the rise of decentralized email systems. But at the same time, parallel advances in AI and machine learning are making forensic tools exponentially smarter. They're getting better at filtering, analyzing, and interpreting vast amounts of data faster than ever, which will be absolutely crucial for navigating these continuously evolving landscapes. It really is that continuous arms race between concealment and revelation. Outro.
Wow. We've taken an extraordinary deep dive today, haven't we, into the incredible, often totally unseen world of email forensics. We've uncovered the hidden journeys of our digital messages from their creation, through that complex path across servers, and even how they might be deliberately altered or painstakingly recovered. We've seen how every single email is this potential trove of evidence, revealing stories and truths far beyond its visible content, and how that rigorous scientific approach is absolutely essential to uncover those truths in a legally defensible way.
Exactly. What this truly illuminates, I think, is that we've explored not just the what of email forensics, the technical bits, but the profound why it matters. For everything from securing our digital lives against cybercrime to upholding legal truth in court and that constant evolving battle against those trying to erase their digital footprints,
Yeah.
it's really a testament to the fact that in this digital age, maybe nothing is truly gone without a trace. Every communication, every click, every timestamp leaves a story behind, just waiting to be told by someone who knows how to read it.
So the next time you open an email, maybe pause for a second, you'll know that lurking beneath that familiar surface, unseen by the casual eye, is this complex digital ledger. A meticulous record, complete with precise timestamps, maybe authentication records, a detailed travel itinerary, just waiting to tell its true, unvarnished story.
Which really begs a final critical question for you, our listener. Given how much hidden data and history an email actually contains, and the sophisticated techniques now used to both conceal and reveal it, what new responsibilities do you think this knowledge places on all of us as digital communicators, both in terms of, actively protecting ourselves and maybe being more mindful of the indelible digital footprints we leave behind with every single message we send?
Something to definitely think about.